Hi, I'm Jenny from The Plot, and this is my allotment. Welcome to my lady garden. I just wanted to say before I begin today, thank you so much for all the comments that were left on my last video that were very kindly and nicely telling me that I was using my strimmer upside down. I mean, that is just typical. Do not follow me for any advice when it comes to power tools, seriously. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know that I am wearing the correct boots today. They are extremely muddy, so they fit in well with the rest of the plot. In fact, when I look out at the plot as it stands now, and I don't know whether it's the time of year or because I've been doing my paths, but it just looks like a massive sea of brown. However, there are some green things growing. Yes, even now in February. And I want to check on them today. So let's go and have a look. Let's start in the greenhouse. Come on. Woo! Actually, let's go this way because there's slightly less obstruction from an enormous pile of wood chip. Here we are. Ooh! Oh no! Bit of a mixed bag. First success, let me show you, is we've got some spring onions coming up. And I actually thought they've been like that for so long. I actually thought I was just nurturing a very expensive trough of mud. But no, we've got, they're coming up, look. That row in the middle. The rest of the successes and disasters, I'm going to need to show you close up. So we have some cauliflowers germinated in Linda's Deep Root Success Kit. Have we got any leaks? Let's have a look. No sign of leaks yet. Let's check the giant onions. I mean, actually, I think particularly those two at the back, and some of those as well, they're definitely doing something. They're not dead, so that's a win. I just want to show you something is happening with these sweet peas. That looks like, is that some sort of leaf miner? Is something coming along and nibbling? What is that? What is going on there? Help. Sweet pea help requested. And there are some things that are actually growing on the plot. But I haven't looked at them for quite some time, so I think it's about time I did. So here we have the garlic bed. The net is looking a bit saggy. I think the whole thing needs a little bit of rejigging because as I was digging up the paths either side, it was kind of just getting a little bit out of whack. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just take the net and all the hoops away so that I can redo them and have a proper look at what's underneath. Look at these two at the front. I think those are Stella's giant garlic cloves that she gave me. That's so exciting. And then down the middle, I think this is the elephant garlic down the middle, coming up. Still quite short, but you can tell it's kind of stubbier and stockier than the rest. And then this must be the regular garlic round the outside. There is also, obviously, a few bits of the dreaded couch grass. But the other thing I've noticed is, look, at the end of the bed, where I've been redoing my paths, it's really obvious at the very end of the bed, that last kind of 10-20 centimetres, I have been allowing the weeds to encroach and make the bed smaller. So what I'd really like to do, as well as getting rid of, is that garlic or is that couch grass? As well as getting rid of some of the couch grass, is also to reclaim this little endy bit. Right, this calls for digging gear, a compost bag and a pokey stick. So when it comes to weeding the actual bed, I've dug over the end, but when it comes to weeding the actual bed, I'm having to do it really carefully because obviously I don't want to disturb the garlic growing. So I'm literally pulling out blades of couch grass by hand, some of which is coming out whole with the root and some of which is not. So it will, obviously there'll be bits growing back, but what we don't want to do is disturb the garlic, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. What I'm going to do now is give it a mulch with some wood chip, because I think garlic likes a bit of mulch. There, I'm absolutely covered in wood chip, but other than that, that bed's done. I'm going to get the hoops and the nets back on. Get used to my new wider beds. I've gone a bit mad. It is now 4:10 and I should be at home. But I noticed exactly the same thing happening with the onion bed. Let me show you. So we have our lovely bunchy shallots coming up at the front, which I'm very pleased about. We've got the onion sets growing nicely. Lovely thyme plant, that was from Katie. Got the Brussels sprout plant, which, are we still a slug hotel? Actually, those Brussels don't look too bad. But I think it needs to come out. But then we've got this guy. What's he doing there at the end of my bed? Outrageous. So I'm taking it back. Bye-bye, Brussels. But I need the space. I need the space for my extra giant onions, because that's where they're going. Right, I am going to give it a mulch. But I'm only going to mulch it quite thinly, and I'm going to try and leave some room around each onion stem, because I think they like a bit of airflow and they don't want too much stuff around them, so that they because it might lead to rot, I think. So I'm just going to give them a little thin mulch, keep the rest of the couch grass down, and then I'm going home. Right, well that's done. And I have to go home. It's now 5 o'clock. Hang on. It's 5 o'clock and it's not completely dark. Yes! Spring is on its way. I've got no time for paths, unfortunately, today. But I will get onto that next time, I promise. But I'm really pleased that they're sort of tidied up, that both the onion and the garlic beds are tidied up. I've got extra space at the end for my giant onions, should I ever get any. And I've got extra space at the end of the garlic bed for my leeks. The wood chip pile, the pile of old wood chip from the paths, is now finished. So that's another good news. Things are looking much tidier. Okay, I have convinced myself it has been a worthwhile day today here at the allotment. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.